Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weisheit, licensed clinical social worker with Charitable and Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it. And you know, whenever we have good news at some of our higher education, we want to bring that to you. There's nobody better to find that out from than Dr. James Stewart. Dr. Stewart, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Keith.
It's good to see you, my friend. And so, of course, Professor of Mass Communication over at Nicholls State University. This is a really nice time as we see that there's this new Communication Institute that's been formed. Tell us a little bit about how that took place, Dr. Stewart.
Yeah, the kind of cliche in higher education is that things take a long time, but this has been kind of a whirlwind experience. I'm a longtime friend of Dr. Brian Matherne from Houma. We played tennis together for years. I'm not going to say how many. He'd probably shoot me if I did. But anyway, his daughter is now a lecturer at Newcastle University in England. And he said that she was going to be in over the summer and that he wanted us to meet. And so last summer, she and I got together and we talked about what she was doing in England. And we talked a little bit about what we were doing here at Nicholls. And as we talked, we got really excited about the possibility of us working together on a joint project. And so by the end of the fall, we had received a very generous donation from Dr. Matherne to help us set up this institute. And it's named the Nancy Sanderson Matherne Institute for Global Communication. Mrs. Nancy Sanderson had married Brian's father during World War II and had come to the United States and became really a leader in education in Terrebonne Parish. And so she believed in the power of travel and meeting people from different backgrounds and cultures. And so Kelly and Brian thought this would be a really great way to honor Kelly's grandmother. And so they helped us set this up. And we see a lot of opportunities going forward. The group that the students at Newcastle work with or have worked with in the past is a group out of Cameroon trying to preserve the Cross River gorillas. And that's Cross River and the gorillas that live there, a very endangered species. And so as we talk to them and as our students who are participating in this got involved in the project and started doing research on the Cameroon area and the problems with environmental issues that they have there, they said, you know, Dr. Stewart, there's a lot of overlap here between what the people in Cameroon are facing with environmental change and what we're facing. And they've been kind of excited about it.
Well, this is really exciting about kind of really crossing the pond, if you will, and seeing what's happening in other areas. Let's talk a little bit about how this is going to help with the future of communication and journalism students right here at Nicholls.
Right. Well, you know, we've had a successful track record, and I don't want to come across as kind of arrogant, but the facts are what they are. And you look at people like Ken Wells, who's from Houma and was worked with the Wall Street Journal and was a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize, and a number of other students that have come through here. This gives us a chance to work with universities in other countries, Newcastle University for one, but there are opportunities to start working with others. And so to kind of, if you will, to use the marketing term, get our brand out there to a broader audience outside of South Louisiana. But at the same time, it's a great opportunity for our students or students who may be considering studying mass communication to have that chance while they're in school to interact with people from around the globe, because you know as well as I do that particularly when it comes to things like marketing and communication, we live in a very global village, to use a cliche. And so students need to know about other things that are going on around the world. And so this gives them a chance to do that.
Yeah, and so not only the students, but we see that Nicholls State University now is maybe going to have this opportunity globally for people to say, you know what, I think I want to go to school there. I think
Correct.
I want to go and participate in some of the things. And so, quite frankly, it's not arrogance. It's just the truth of the matter that we've had some really good students come through Mass Comm. And not only that, but they've gone and done and made some really wonderful changes around the world, if you will. It'd be nice to have those come back to Nicholls, right?
Oh, yes. Just another name that pops to mind, Corey Melanson Hayek. She graduated from here and she was a part of can't remember, I think 3 Pulitzer Prize teams in digital journalism. And so, as people learn about the quality of really, the people from this area and what they're capable of on the national and international stage, so students from around as you said, from around the world who may be kind of following this, get interested in looking up what these projects are. And they say, well, wait a minute, what's this Nicholls State University? What can I, learn about them? And as they look into it, they say, hey, I've always wanted to study in the States, and let's go there.
And so kind of as we round out the show here, James, maybe tell us what it is that you find is so very good about the program. I know you've been part of Mass Comm for a long time, and now as that department head, there's something that really is valuable for our students in the area and abroad.
Well, I think the two things. One is, as I've said, the students, as they got into the project, they keep getting more and more excited because they see the similarities between, and there are vast differences too. I don't want to oversimplify things, but similarities between what people in other countries are facing. Here we're concerned with coastal erosion and land loss. And in these gorillas in particular, what they're suffering from is from habitat loss there for other reasons. And so they're like, well, Dr. Stewart, this is, there's a lot of overlap. In fact, one student did some research and she found, she actually was looking at topographical maps and things like that. And she said, Avery Island has a lot of similarities to some of the places we've looked at in Cameroon. So that opportunity for them to look around the world and find these things out.
James, we appreciate it so very, very much. Thank you, Dr. Stewart, for your time today.
As always.
All right.
Talk to you later.
All right,
Bye.
guys, that'll do it for this particular segment of Bayou Time. Don't go anywhere. A lot more local programming right here.